Welcome to Temple Baptist Church in Poplar, Bluff, Missouri. We're certainly glad that you're joining us for some devotional time. And as we've always say, our prayer is that our devotionals are, just an uplifting to you, maybe bringing some things to remembrance that we need to remember in our Christian life and to draw us closer to God. And I hope they're uplifting for the most part, but sometimes we do need a little correction, don't we? Sometimes we need to be reminded of things that we're doing wrong. Today, we're going to be in 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I would encourage you to read 8 through 12. I'm just going to take verse 10 out of this. And I think verse 10 may be one of the most misquoted verses in the Bible. And so, when we read this, and I'm not going to be a real agnostic about that, but it says, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." This is out of the New King James Translation. "For which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness, and piercing themselves through with many sorrows." It helps if you're focus, and you can pick the word out there. But people say that that money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. It's the love of money, and that's what. I think that's what Paul is telling his young protege here, Timothy. I think we're surrounded with all kinds of messages today that make us discontent. We have messages that we need the latest phone, a new car, or maybe even a better body, better took care of body. Most time when we say that someone is successful, it means they make a lot of money. We think success is based upon what monetary value you have. So I think so much about the American culture is about the acquisition of new stuff. Kids learn to long for stuff at an early age. I was thinking about this as I was preparing this devotion. I remember back when my children were young and just in the toddler stage. I used to take my car keys and give them to them and hope they didn't lose them, and that would entertain them. But what do you do now? As soon as a little one gets big enough, they hand them the cell phone. I wouldn't be surprised if 2-year-old don't know how to operate a cell phone better than I do. But they're constantly begging their parents for a smartphone. They want those. They want these latest gadgets and latest games, and that's what we. Consumerism might not be the biggest sin of America, but it's running high. And again, sin. Okay. I want to be classified. I don't want you to say, "Well, Brother Ron says us wanting stuff and us going out and buying stuff, and all this stuff is a sin." Well, sin is sin, and so that's not the biggest one. But I think Paul wrote to the young pastor named Timothy, and he warned him of the damage of money. Now, money provides what we need to live and gives us opportunities to bless others, doesn't it? Now, if we have it, we give, we share, and that's a blessing. But we can easily fall in love with money. And that's what Paul said, that it's a trap. The love of money can cause us to lose focus of what's most important in life. There's this lie in money: if we just had a little more, I'd be satisfied. If I can just get that new home, if I can just get that new car, or 6-figure income, I will be content. I don't know if you've ever thought that or not. I probably have thought, well, if I had a little more of this, had a little more of that, I'd be more content. But more stuff never leads to commitment. Living for money, or the possession of it, it's hollow. It's going to go. Life is not about money, but about eternal value. Don't lay up treasures here on earth. Lay up treasures in heaven. That's where the good stuff's at. Yeah, we've got to have, I understand, we have to have a certain amount of money to get by, to meet our needs. You got things you got to pay for. You got to pay for food. You got to pay for rent. You got to pay for car insurance. The list goes on and on. You got to have those. But when you put the emphasis on getting more and more and more, and not loving God, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strived from the faith in their greediness, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. I've heard of people winning the lottery, and that's the worst thing that ever happened to them. So, just life is more than wealth. It's a lot more than wealth. Life, a happy life, a life with Jesus Christ, a life with a church family, a life helping others, and being a blessing is far more worth than money. Just I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm just going to say, come and be a part of our services here at Temple. We meet on Sunday morning, our first worship services at 8 a.m. Then we have our Sunday school classes at 9. Then we meet our second worship service at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. Sunday night at 6, Wednesday night at 7. May God bless you is our prayer.